Hello, friend. Thank you for taking a moment out of your day to stop by the channel. Your time matters, and I'm grateful you're here. Today, I want to start with a story about someone you've probably heard of, but maybe not in the way I'm about to share. His name was Dave Thomas, the founder of Wendy's. But before Wendy's ever existed, Dave was a young man working behind the scenes at a struggling little chain called Kentucky Fried Chicken. Back then, KFC had a problem. Their menu was cluttered, complicated, and confusing. They were trying to be everything to everyone, adding more items, more options, more noise, and it was hurting the business. Dave looked at the situation and saw something simple. They didn't need more. They needed less. So he did something bold. He simplified the entire menu. He cut out the clutter, removed the distractions, and focused on what KFC did best: chicken. And you know what happened? The business took off. Sales grew. Customers came back. Clarity replaced chaos. Dave Thomas learned something powerful in that moment. Success often comes from subtraction, not addition. Years later, when he opened the very first Wendy's, he built it on that same principle. A simple menu, fresh ingredients, a clear identity, no unnecessary extras. And it worked, not because he added more, but because he focused on what mattered most. But Dave's story goes deeper than business. He was adopted as a child. He grew up with uncertainty, loss, and instability. He dropped out of high school. He worked long hours in kitchens just to get by. Yet through all of that, he learned to strip life down to its essentials: hard work, humility, gratitude, and purpose. Dave Thomas didn't succeed because he had more. He succeeded because he learned what to let go of, what to subtract, so he could focus on what truly mattered. And that brings us right into today's message. Sometimes the most powerful change in your life doesn't come from adding more. It comes from removing what no longer serves you. We spend so much time trying to add things. More goals, more commitments, more responsibilities, more noise, more pressure. But growth isn't always about addition. Sometimes it's about subtraction. Subtract the habits that drain you. Subtract the people who diminish you. Subtract the excuses that limit you. Subtract the distractions that steal your focus. When you remove what weighs you down, you rise naturally. You don't have to force it. You don't have to push. You simply create space for who you were meant to become. Your clarity increases. Your energy returns. Your purpose sharpens. Your peace expands. You don't need more. You need less of what's holding you back. Let me share something personal with you. There was a time in my life when I kept adding, thinking that more effort, more hustle, more commitments would finally get me where I wanted to be. But all it did was exhaust me. I wasn't growing. I was drowning. It wasn't until I started subtracting, letting go of old expectations, releasing relationships that no longer aligned, removing habits that kept me stuck, that I finally felt myself breathe again. And maybe you're in that place right now. Maybe you've been carrying things that were never meant to be yours forever. Maybe you've outgrown certain roles, certain patterns, certain versions of yourself. And that's okay. Growth isn't always about adding. Sometimes it's about releasing. And before we go any deeper, let me pause for just a moment. If this message is resonating with you, if it's giving you clarity, peace, or even just a moment to breathe, I'd love to invite you to subscribe to the channel and tap the like button. It may seem like a small thing, but it truly helps this message reach more people who might need it. And your comments matter more than you know. Sometimes the words you share, your story, your struggle, your breakthrough, become the exact thing someone else needed to hear in their own moment of uncertainty. You never know who you might help just by speaking from the heart. So if something in this message speaks to you, drop a comment. Not just for me, but for the next person who comes along looking for hope, direction, or a reminder that they're not alone. All right, let's keep going. When you begin subtracting, something powerful happens. Your clarity increases. Your energy returns. Your purpose sharpens. Your peace expands. You begin to see what truly matters and what never did. You start noticing the difference between what is essential and what is simply familiar. You realize that some things you've been holding on to were only meant to be temporary. Some chapters were meant to end. Some weights were meant to be set down. And when you finally release them, you don't lose anything. You gain space. You gain freedom. You gain yourself. So today, I want to ask you a simple question. One that might stay with you long after this video ends. What can you subtract? What can you release? What can you let go of so you can finally grow? Because sometimes, the life you want is hiding underneath everything you no longer need. And that's what freedom and purpose is all about. Not perfection. Not pressure. Not pretending everything is fine. It's about peeling back the layers. Letting go of what no longer fits. Releasing what no longer aligns. And rediscovering the freedom that comes from living with intention. You don't need more. You need less of what's holding you back. And when you subtract the unnecessary, you make room for purpose. You make room for peace. You make room for the life you were meant to live. Thank you for spending this time with me today. I'm grateful for you. And I hope you continue choosing freedom, one intentional step at a time.